And I do believe that we have rotten politics, and I'm not using that as an exaggeration.
Hey everyone and welcome. The Ministry of Defence of the UK, with their rainbow-coloured logo on Twitter, have decided to do an intelligence update, on the Ukraine as of the 16th of June, which, in my honest opinion, is massive cope and completely contradicts itself all the way through, but I thought we'd go through it for comedic value. All of the main bridges over the Seversky Donets River, which link the contested town of Severodonetsk and its Ukrainian-held territory, have now highly likely been destroyed. Ukraine has probably, just to guesswork this, or most of this then, so opinion, managed to withdraw a large portion of its combat troops, probably. They don't know for certain, but they probably did, who were originally holding the town. The situation continues to be extremely difficult for the Ukrainian forces and civilians remaining east of the river. With the bridges highly likely destroyed, Russia will now likely need to either conduct a contested river crossing or advance on its currently stalled flanks to turn tactical gain into an operational advantage. See, it sounds very much like the Ukrainians are winning and they're doing really well, and the Russians are failing, and the river is going to be a natural barrier to any advance, etc. Well, to me that screams, if the Ukrainians are having to pull back and blow bridges, that they are losing badly. Let's not forget they were actually originally holding the town, according to the Ministry of Defence. Well, if that was the case and it was going so well for the Ukrainians, why would they need to run and blow the bridges? And it does also sound like they will have left some people behind. So this is turning into a cauldron. Now, if you don't know what a cauldron is, it means that they're surrounded on all sides. If you can't get across the river because the bridges have been blown, neither can fleeing Ukrainians. So they've trapped some of the people. Russia's combat force in the Donbass is highly likely. Have you seen the terminology they're using as well, the words? It's not fact, this. It's just somebody told them something somewhere and it was passed to them, so it's second and third hand information that is completely unverifiable. It's highly likely operating in increasingly ad hoc and severely undermanned groupings. If that was the case, everyone, if Russia's combat force was spread out and fractured, why would the Ukrainian forces be fleeing across a bridge and then blowing it up behind them? Anyone? Now, you will have people saying that it'll be tactical retreats. Well, if it's a tactical retreat, why are they taking away their ability to re-attack? See, it's just one contradiction after another, isn't it, everyone? As claimed by the Ukrainian authorities, some Russian battalion tactic groups, typically established at around 600 to 800 personnel, have been able to muster as few as 30 soldiers. And yet, Ukraine, you're running away. 30 soldiers? You're running from 30 soldiers now, yet you're claiming you're winning. Okay. For both sides fighting in contested towns, frontline combat is likely increasingly devolving to small groups of troops typically operating on foot. Now, that may be true that they're operating on foot. Urban combat is a lot of door-to-door, so it would be needed to be done on foot. But to actually say that it's devolving into small groups is no evidence of that, is there? If they're saying that Ukrainian forces are running across rivers now. See what I mean about how ridiculous all of this is? They're telling you one thing and then proving themselves wrong with another. Well, anyway, let's finish this off. Some of Russia's strengths, such as its advantage in numbers of tanks, become less I thought they were blowing up all the tanks. Become less relevant in this environment. This is likely contributing to its continued slow rate of advance. Have you ever thought, maybe, Ministry of Defence, and anyone else that's listening, that maybe Russia's slow advance is because they don't need to, as people would call for, blitzkrieg? They can do this job and seem to be doing quite well at this job in small baby steps. So to say that it's being held back is just wishful thinking and cope, in my honest opinion. But let me know what you think, everyone. I'd like to know yours. This is just propaganda, isn't it? And it's bad propaganda because it's in the same article, it contradicts itself. Absolute joke. They think we're stupid. Stay sane. I'll see you on the next one.